Hi, and welcome to another episode
of Breaking Down the Deck.
And today we have a powerful deck to break down, and yeah, maybe some dragons will appear here and there.
Will it?
Maybe.
What?
I don't know.
Just tell me, what commander are you flying in the sky?
It's Ureni. It's the Ureni of the Unwritten. Yes. And yeah, it's a powerful dragon that has an interesting ETB and attack trigger where you get to put a dragon for free onto the battlefield. So if you give this haste, things might turn very funny.
And ugly. No, not funny. Ugly.
Very funny.
Ugly.
But it is one of my favorite dragon decks I've ever built. I think this is my favorite dragon commander so far. Haven't tried them all, but I think this one is very fun. And it can escalate a lot. But of course, we will see how I have built the deck.
Yeah, so Sarah, take it away then.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my Ureni of the Unwritten deck. This is actually my favorite dragon deck that I've built. I had Tiamat, Ur-Dragon, and Kyodai, and a few other ones. But this is definitely my favorite one. I think you get so much value from the ETB trigger and attack trigger. So let's take a look. For 4 generic and Timur colors, you get Ureni of the Unwritten, Spirit Dragon, Flying Trample. Whenever Ureni enters or attacks, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a dragon creature card from among them onto the battlefield, just like that. But put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So yeah, there will be quite a few dragons in here, but let's take a look at the creatures I do have. First one is the Glorybringer. Yes, it has 3 generic, 2 red. Flying Haste. I may exert this creature as it attacks, and when I do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls. We have the Deceptive Frostkite for 2 islands. Flying, you may have this creature enters a copy of a creature you control with power 4 or greater, except it's a dragon in addition to its other types, and it has flying. And now this wind is going crazy again. Oof. But it's okay. Gives some atmosphere. We have Hellkite Courser for 4 generic, 2 mountains, flying. When it ETBs, I may put a commander you own from the command zone onto the battlefield. It gains haste, return it to the command zone at the beginning of the next end step. Now we have Dragon Lord Atarka for 5 generic, 1 mountain, 1 forest. It's an Elder Dragon, Flying Trample. When it enters, it deals 5 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers your opponents control. Then we have the Kaiga, the Tidestar, for 5 generic, 1 blue, Dragon Spirit. Flying, when it dies, I gain control of target creature. We have Atsushi, the Blazing Sky, for 2 generic, 2 mountains. Flying Trample. When it dies, choose 1. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until end of your next turn. You may play those cards or create 3 treasure tokens. Here comes Terror of the Peaks. 3 generic, 2 red. Flying. Spells your opponents cast that target this creature cost an additional 3 life to cast. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. Then we have the Broodcaller's Scourge for 5 generic, 2 green. Flying. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to player, you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the damage from your hand onto the battlefield. We have a Stormbreath Dragon for 3 generic and 2 mountains. Flying, haste, protection from white. For 5 generic and 2 red, it has Monstrosity 3. So if this creature is a monstrous, put 3+1 counters on it and it becomes monstrous. When this creature becomes monstrous, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. Then we have Thundermane Dragon for 3 generic, 1 red. Flying, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells with power 4 or greater from the top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn. Vengeful Ancestor for 2 generic and 2 red. Flying. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, goad target creature. Whenever a goad creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to its controller. Then we have Nogi, a Draco Zealot for 1 generic, 2 red. It's a Kobold Shaman. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast. Whenever this attacks, if you control 3 or more dragons until end of turn, Nogi becomes a dragon with base power and toughness 5/5 and gains flying. Then we have Atarka, World Render for 5 generic, 1 mountain and 1 forest. Flying Trample, but whenever dragon control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. So this is such a great card. I love it, especially if you attack, you do the Ureni trigger, and the dragon you put on the battlefield for free is Atarka. Gives every dragon double strike until end of turn. Then we have Eshki, Teamer's Roar for the Teamer colors, Human Warrior. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1 counter on Eshki. If that spell's power 4 or greater, draw a card. If that spell's power is 6 or greater, Eshki deals damage equal to Eshki's power to each opponent. Then we have a Hellkite Tyrant for generic 2 mountain, Flying Trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. Then we have Dragon Lord Servant for 1 generic, 1 mountain, Goblin Shaman. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. We have Rapacious Dragon, 4 generic, 1 red. Flying. When this creature enters, create 2 treasure tokens. We have Scourge of the Throne for 4 generic and 2 mountains. Flying. It has Dethrone. Whenever this creature attacks, the player with the most life or tied for most life, put a +1 counter on it. Whenever it attacks for the first time each turn, if it's attacking the player with the most life or tied for most life, untap all attacking creatures. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. We have a Thunderbreak Regent for 2 generic, 2 red. Flying. Whenever dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability and an opponent controls, this creature deals 3 damage to that player. We have a Sprite Dragon. So cute. 1 island, 1 mountain. It's a fairy dragon. Flying Haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can put a +1 counter on Sprite Dragon. We have the Juvenile Mist Dragon for 3 generic, 2 islands. Flying. Confounding Clouds. When it enters the battlefield for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature player controls. Each of those creatures doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. We have a Dragon Master Outcast for 1 red. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Then we have Sarkhan, Soul of Flame. 1 generic, 1 island, 1 red. It's a human shaman. Dragon spells you cost 1 generic less to cast. Whenever a dragon you control enters, you may have Sarkhan become a copy of it until end of turn. Except its name is Sarkhan, Soul of Flame, and it's legendary in addition to its other types. And we have the Leyline Tyrant for 2 generic, 2 mountains. Flying. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. When this creature dies, you may pay any amount of red mana. When you do, it deals damage to any target. We have the Territorial Hellkite for 2 generic, 2 red. Flying Haste. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose an opponent at random that this creature didn't attack during your last combat. This creature attacks that player this combat if able. If you can't choose an opponent this way, tap this creature. Whirlwind Stormbrood for 4 generic, 1 island. It also has Dynamic Sword, the sorcery Omen. For 2 generic, 1 green, put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature control. And if you cast it for the dragon side, it's flash flying. You may cast sorcery spells and dragon spells as though they had flash. Then we have Lovelace, Dragon Queen. For 4 generic, 2 red. Flying. Whenever another non-token dragon you control enters, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token flying. For 1 generic, 1 red, dragons you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. And then we have the Parapet Thrasher. 2 generic, 2 red, flying. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to an opponent, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Destroy target artifact that opponent controls. This creature deals 4 damage to each other opponent. Exile the top card of your library you may play this turn. So yeah, those were the creatures I have. Let's take a look at some instants. First one is Rapid Hybridization for 1 blue. Destroy target creature, it can't be regenerated. That creature's controller creates a 3/3 green frog lizard creature token. Then we have a Beast Within. Destroy for 2 generic and 1 green. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast creature token. Then we have the Spit Flame. For 2 generic, 1 red, it deals 4 damage to target creature. Whenever a dragon you control enters, you may pay a mountain. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. We have Draconic Lore. For 5 generic, 1 island, it costs 2 generic less to cast if you control a dragon. Draw 3 cards. We of course have Chaos Warp. 2 generic, 1 red. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. Then, of course, we have a Respite. For 1 generic, 1 green. Creatures deal no combat damage this turn, gain 1 life for each attacking creature. Always good to have a Fog. We have a Reality Shift. For 1 generic, 1 blue. Exile target creature. Its controller manifests the top card of their library. We have some protection. We have a Shore Up for 1 blue. Target creature control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Untap it. Then we have Snakeskin Veil for 1 green. Put a +1 counter on target creature you control. It gains hexproof until end of turn. Yeah. Then we can take a look at some of the enchantments I have. The first one being an Element Bond. For 2 generic, 1 green. Whenever creature control with power 3 or greater enters, draw a card. Some card draw. Then we of course have Dragon Tempest. For 1 generic, 1 red. Whenever creature control with flying enters, it gains haste until end of turn. Whenever a dragon you control enters, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of dragons you control. Then we have Garruk's Uprising. When it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. We have Rising of the Day. 2 generic, 1 red. We want Ureni to have haste, of course. Creatures you control have haste. Legendary creature control get +1/+0. We have Reflections of Elitiara. For 4 generic, 1 blue. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, you copy that spell. We have Temur Ascendancy. For the Temur colors, creatures you control have haste. Whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, you may draw a card. We have a Kozilek's Unsealing. For 2 generic, 1 blue. The Void. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 4, 5, or 6, create 2 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens. With sacrifice this creature, add 1 colorless mana. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 7 or greater, you draw 3 cards. Really like this enchantment. Then we have Encroaching Dragonstorm. For 3 generic, 1 green. When it enters, I search my library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tab, then shuffle. And when a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. A fun way to ramp. Okay, let's take a look at my only planeswalker. My only planeswalker is Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. For 2 generic, and you can pay either a green or a blue. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And her only minus or plus ability is -1, untap target permanent. Okay, let's take a look at some artifacts. First one is Dragonstorm Globe. For 3 generic, each dragon you control enters with an additional +1 counter on it. I can add 1 mana of any color. Then we have the Talisman of Creativity. For 2 generic. Add colorless or add 1 blue or a red. It deals 1 damage to you. Then we have Jade, Orb of Dragonkind. For 2 generic, 1 green. I can add a forest. When you spend this mana to cast a dragon creature spell, it enters the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on it and gains hexproof until your next turn. Then we have a classic. We have a Soul Ring. We have a Dragon's Hoard. For 3 generic, whenever a dragon you control enters, put a gold counter on this artifact. I can remove a gold counter from this artifact, draw a card, and I can also add 1 mana of any color, so I can choose. Then we have Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind. For 2 generic, 1 mountain. I can add a red. If that mana is spent on a dragon creature spell, it gains haste until end of turn. We have an Arcane Signet, of course. For 2 generic, add 1 mana of any color in your commander's colored identity. We have a Talisman of Impulse. For 2 generic, you can add a colorless or a mountain or forest, but it will deal 1 damage to me. And the last one, a Fell Warstone. For 2 generic, add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Okay, so we only have some sorceries left, which I will show you right now, besides the lands, of course. But the first sorcery is Farseek. For 1 generic, 1 green, I can search my library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. We have a Cultivate. We, of course, need to ramp some more, because Ureni costs 7. Cultivate 2 generic, 1 green. Search library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, put 1 onto the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand, then shuffle. Of course, we have a Blasphemous Act. For 8 generic, 1 red, but it usually only costs 1 red. It costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield. It deals 13 damage to each creature. We have a Become the Avalanche. For 4 generic, 2 green. Draw a card for each creature controlled with power 4 or greater. Then creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. We have a Will of the Teamer. For 5 generic, 1 blue. Choose one. If you control a commander, as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent, except it's a 4/4 dragon creature with flying in addition to its other types. Target player draws cards equal to the greatest mana value among permanents you control. Then we have a Migration Path. For 3 generic, 1 green. Search the library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Also has Cycling for 2. And the final one is Kodama's Reach. For 2 generic, 1 green. I can search my library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, put 1 onto the battlefield tapped, and the other one into my hand, then shuffle. Okay, let's just go over some of the non-basic lands I have that are a little more special. The other ones, we have a Hinterland Harbor. We have a Temple of Abandon, Mossworth Bridge. Oh, this one is fun. It's Hideaway 4. So when this land enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. And for 1 green, I may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater. We have Sulphur Falls, Yavimaya Coast, Exotic Orchard, Shivan Reef, Flooded Grove, Rootbound Crag, Bountiful Landscape, Temple of Mystery. When it comes in, I can scry 1. We have a Frontier Bivouac, Kessig Wolfrun. This is fun. I can add a colorless, or I can pay X generic and Google colors, and target creature gets +X/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. We have Command Tower, Shelter Thicket, Rockfall Vale, Cinderglade, Carplusion Forest, and we have a Temple of Dragon Queen. So as this land enters, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand. This land enters tapped unless you reveal a dragon card this way or you control a dragon. As this land enters, you choose a color and add 1 mana of the chosen color. Then we have the Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Add colorless or add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a dragon creature spell. For 2, I can sacrifice this land and return target dragon creature card or Ugin planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand. Then we have a Path of Ancestry, Mossfire Valley, Evolving Wilds, and then we have some basics in the teamwork colors. Yeah, there are like more mountains in here because I do have a lot, I think, more mountain cards. But yeah, that was my Ureni of the Unwritten Deck. So yeah, let me know how you have built Ureni. and which dragon commander is your favorite. So back to me and Anders in the studio. Thank you. So that was my Ureni deck with some dragons, some fun things, some ramp, of course. Oh, you're scared about the ramp. Yeah, I know. You had to have a lot of ramp because Ureni costs a lot, 7. So I need to ramp.
You're a monster.
Why?
You are a goddamn monster.
It is
Attract thy dear, Scourge of the Throne, Hellkite Tyrant with Dragon Tempest there. Oh my god, that is just butcher. You're just pushing people. You're just living enough for that. It's Terror of the Sky there. It's like Terror of the Sky.
Yeah, but it's just a regular dragon deck. I mean, that's kind of what you usually get from those. What you expect. Just dragons coming in, doing damage, getting free dragons.
Get free dragons. That is the worst. That is the worst case. Getting free dragon. Those free dragon is so big actually. Especially we have decks with a lot of other huge dragons there, like enter for free. There is so great.
Yeah, I wanted to focus on the free stuff because there's more dragons that, like, when you deal combat damage, you get to put another
dragon there.
Dragon or
you have Latry as well. When you're another dragon enter, you get a 5/5 token as well. Yes. Escalate there.
Yeah, span the board with your dragons, and then you fly.
It's so good, it's so crazy, and can other hand really quick as well. There.
Yeah.
And not only that, when you attack, you look at the top X cards here. Yeah. It's so good. That means like, oh, I can just empty my hand as soon as possible, attack with Unary, and just put threat after threat after threat for the top deck. It's like pseudo card advantage, but not even. But it's just board present. It is so big there.
But also what I like, it's not you reveal until you find a creature.
Exactly.
It's you look and then you choose.
Exactly.
So if you're lucky, you get to choose the best one that you see. Of course, there have been times I whiffed. I mean, it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. But sometimes when you have to reveal until you hit something, it can be very bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't hit good stuff. But when you look, you choose. You have like control.
I think that the choose spot is so big there. I mean, a lot of other dragons, a lot of other like decks, tribal decks, like just reveal the top card. You have to play that top card and whatever. Just look at the top card, like a Buddha Cedar there, like the party mechanic commander there. There is a black and white, like look at the top card, play stuff for the top card, and hope for the best there. But Ureni is like more. It does so much more. You have better attack triggers, better ETB triggers. That is the same. Like choose that keyword you can choose is so great.
Of course, want to know your favorite dragon.
Oh, yeah, what is your favorite dragon?
Yeah, let us know.
I can actually let you know my favorite dragon.
What is your favorite
It's
dragon?
actually Ramos.
Of course.
But you know why?
It's not because your last name is Ramos.
No.
Nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with that. No.
But Ramos is pretty cool, and I think that maybe when you say Dragon Commander, that is not the first one that pops into people's minds. But I think Ramos is like pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of cool, like a +1 counter. So you make use flash mana. Yeah. But anyway, Unary is the spotlight here now, and. You want to tell the funny joke in Swedish? Why we? I think we need to address the audience here now.
Well, on my Moxfield, I named this deck to Urine Trouble because urine, it's like like the pee.
Yeah, I love it. Like silence, quiet, like the pee.
Yeah, that's like an inside joke we have.
Oh my god! Yeah. Now you know it.
Because you're in trouble, and then you might want to, oh no, I'm scared. I'm in danger. I feel like I have to pee.
So if you want to see this in action, I think we have it in our Tarkir pre-cons.
We did the pre-con and we did an upgraded pre-con.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, I played Ureni both times. So if you want to see
how it works,
if people were in trouble, then take a look at those.
Exactly.
They will be linked in this episode in the description.
Exactly.
And we'll see you in the next one, of course.
Of course. Take care now. Bye.